What are you up to? Are you still very tired. Back to bed.
Good morning. It is Friday, the 19th of Feb, and I'm currently sitting by the radiator because I'm cold and I don't want to put my heating on too high because our light heating system is really outdated, and it's also really expensive to run the house if we put the heating on, so we're like trying our best to not spend like £300 a month on energy. But anyway, I was up at the crack of dawn this morning with the dog. He was up at like 5:45, wanting to go out. Normally he's pretty good. Normally he's up at like 7, wanting to go out, but this morning he was obviously just a little bit desperate, so he was up really early. So I let him out, but I was actually really glad because it was the most beautiful sunrise this morning, and I don't really normally see a sunrise. I mean, I've obviously seen many a sunrise in my life, but like I don't normally see them that often because I'm asleep. So it was really nice, the fact that I did get up early and I was rewarded with the most beautiful sunrise. It was just a lovely start to the morning until I realised that we ran out of coffee, and I made Dan go get me a coffee because I can't function without one. But yeah, so that was just a lovely morning. I'm actually feeling, to be honest, I'm feeling a bit groggy this morning because I don't know why we've been doing this, but Dan and I, we bought a bottle of port for Christmas because we had Christmas in London. Obviously because of lockdown we weren't able to go back to our family's homes, but we have, for some reason, I don't know why, but we've been really enjoying a glass of port on an evening. And I know obviously port is mostly for special occasions, but I mean, we're trying to make every evening a special occasion in lockdown. Like, why not? If you're not gonna do it during lockdown, when are you gonna do it? So we've been having a glass of port every evening, but it is so strong, and I do feel a little bit grogs this morning, to be honest. But it's okay. I'm home alone today. Dan is at a assessment day for the army, so he's joining, or he's in the process of joining, the territorial army, which is the part-time army, and today is his assessment. So he has gone about, what is the time? He left about half an hour ago, and he'll be there until like 6 o'clock. So I'm literally home alone all day with the dog. But yeah, so I'm gonna head downstairs to the kitchen now. I'm like starting to burn my back on this radiator. I'm gonna head downstairs to the kitchen now and give it a clean. Dan always annoys me so much because he was in a rush this morning and he's just left it in an absolute bloody state. So I'm gonna go clean. She's back. Sorry, it's downstairs. And by she, I mean these amazing leggings, which I've worn for the last 7 days. And let me tell you, no person should wear leggings 7 days in a row, especially paint and dust covered leggings 7 days in a row. This is just the reality of the situation. We don't want to pay for a decorator, so we're decorating ourselves, and that means dressing in dirty clothes every single day until it's done. So I'm about to paint again for the rest of the afternoon. Yay! But Dan's not here today, which basically means that I get to play Taylor Swift all afternoon on the speaker, and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna crank out some Love Story and get my paint on. So good. Hello. I am tired today. It's Saturday and I didn't really sleep very well last night because my mind was racing. We have had a bit of a nightmare. It's all resolved, but we did have a bit of a nightmare. So yesterday afternoon, I'd say probably like 5, so like late afternoon, we got an email from the company where we ordered our oven, and they were basically just telling us that our oven, which was due to come on Monday, is out of stock, and it wasn't going to get delivered now until March, and they couldn't tell us a specific date in March. They just said March, so it could be like beginning of March, which honestly wouldn't have been that bad, or it could be the end of March, which probably wouldn't be great. And you know, the issue is our kitchen is getting ripped out on Monday, so we ordered the oven to, you know, coincide with ripping out the kitchen, and yeah, and they didn't have an oven to send to us. And all week they have been texting me to ask me, you know, whether there'd be sufficient space for the oven and whether the electrics were going to be okay, etc, etc. And I was like, yes, 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 it's all fine, please just deliver the oven, everything is good, you know, fully expecting there to be an oven in stock, otherwise why would they be texting me so much? And obviously there wasn't. And so I was just like racing. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was fully expecting us just to not have an oven for a month and having to live off like microwave meals and takeaways, which honestly I don't want to live off microwave meals and takeaways for a month. Like, I love me a takeaway, but I don't want to eat it every single day.
Love me a takeaway.
I do love me a takeaway. You like a takeaway?
No, just the way you said it though.
Love me some takeaway?
I love takeaways.
I love takeaways. But you know, I don't want to be eating them every single day. So yeah, got no sleep, was really, really stressed, pretty much spent like all evening, just all night I should say, really, on my phone trying to look for ovens. But it actually ended up being a blessing in disguise. So when we originally ordered the oven, it was a really bad day to decide what oven to order, because we had literally just been told that we needed a whole full rewire on the house for the electrics, which is something that we didn't budget for. So I was unbelievably stressed that day. I knew we were going to go over budget, and the original oven I wanted, which was the Rangemaster Elise, I decided was not in budget anymore, and scrapped that idea, and we ordered a completely different oven, which, to be fair, was still amazing. It was the Rangemaster E Spirit or S Spirit, and it still looked, you know, a gorgeous looking oven, and it had great reviews, but it was like 500 quid cheaper. So we ordered it. I was still really excited to get it. Anyway, obviously this whole thing happened, and I spent all of last night looking for ovens, and I've ended up ordering a Rangemaster Elise, which is the original one I wanted. We managed to squeeze it in within budget. Like, over the last month we've been really, really good, and we have been cost cutting and things to, you know, make way for the electrical rewire, I should say. And yeah, we've actually managed to squeeze it in budget. So I have ended up with my Rangemaster Elise, and it's coming on Tuesday, which is just amazing. And that is our birthday as well, so it's a nice little birthday surprise. And we've ended up getting it from Marks Electrical, who have just obviously bossed it out and managed to get it to us on Tuesday. So the situation has been saved, thank goodness, because, you know, I was looking on like John Lewis, and Curry's, and, you know, John Lewis weren't going to be able to deliver to us for 18 weeks. Curry's was June. Even AO, who are normally like absolutely amazing, they had lots of delays on ovens and things, so it was just the most stressful thing. But Marks Electrical have pulled through. I've got my lease and it's coming on Tuesday, so blessing in disguise. Very happy about that.
Sorry, boy, you go to sleep. You go to sleep.
Oh.
I know, he's asleep. Yesterday I was at the Army Assessment Centre. I'm sure Talia probably mentioned it. So I'm looking to join the Army Reserves as a officer. So I'm looking to join the London Regiment as as an officer. And yesterday was the first stage in sort of that process. So yesterday, if I was going to join as a regular, not a regular, as a soldier, reserve or regular, after tomorrow, or after yesterday, with a pass, I would actually now be going to basic training and all the various things that a soldier would do. I believe I have to do an element of that. However, as I want to become an officer, I then have to go do 2 more assessment centres, and then hopefully if I pass those, I'll be going to Sandhurst. So this morning I'm just checking my scores from yesterday, I guess. I passed the assessment centre, which is fantastic. It involved a medical, it involved fitness tests, and it involved a cognitive test. So there was like a computer-based maths and verbal reasoning, all that sort of stuff, and then a quick interview at the end. And it was good. It was a good day. There was a lot of waiting around. I should have brought a book, but I didn't. The medical was like heart scans, eyesight, hearing, BMI, all sorts of stuff. Thankfully, there's nothing wrong with me. And yeah, the day was good, and I guess the next stages is 2 more assessment centres. If I was to be just a soldier, I would have passed all the tests now, and I would be going to basic training. I think I still have to do basic training because I'm looking to join the reserves, but I still have 2 more assessment centres whereby for officer selection. So if I pass those, which touch wood, hopefully I will be going to Sandhurst, which Talia is not too happy about, but we have to cross those bridges when we come to them, don't we, darling? It's something that I really want to do. I think I've always wanted to join the military. I think it's important to serve, and I think it can, being in the army or being in any force, it teaches you a lot. Teaches you a lot about yourself, but also teaches you a lot that you can then transfer into whatever you want to do in life. I mean, I'm not sort of giving some sort of propaganda speech right now. That's just how I personally feel. But yeah.
Oh, is that the head tilt? Are you the king of the castle up there? It makes you feel like top dog, doesn't it, when you're above us all? Yes.
I think it's a hierarchical thing.
No, it is a hierarchical thing. I don't know why he does it. He should already know that he rules this house, but... The top dog!
I would say I'm number 1, Bourbon number 2.
I just don't think that's correct. I think it goes me, Bourbon, and then you. 100% does. You're our bitch and you know it.
Do you really think you're in charge of Bourbon?
Okay, fine. Bourbon, then me. Then you. Oh, Burby boy. Our sofa's been delivered and it's wrapped in plastic because our house is a building site and there's dust everywhere. And as you can see, it's a beautiful light cream sofa, which I can just see getting absolutely trashed within 5 minutes of us opening it. So this is staying wrapped in plastic until the drawing room, which is where it's going, is basically ready. But that's probably not going to be until May. So it's going to be like this for a while, but if I come over here, you can kind of see from the inside what it is. So at the back here is this lovely buttony effect. There is a proper word for this and I can't remember it. And yeah, the fabric is just like a brushed cotton. It's really, really lovely. And yeah, it's just delightful. I think this is the 2.5 seater, just because the dining room width-wise is quite small, so we couldn't really get anything bigger. Not the dining room. The drawing room width-wise is quite small, so we couldn't get anything bigger. And there are supposed to be feet on the bottom here, but obviously we haven't put those on just yet. But yeah, it is the Young Bean sofa from Loaf, and it is in oak brushed cotton, and we are really happy with it. It's just absolutely stunning. So happy days. Come on then. Come on. Hello. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Talia, or tea time. Hello and welcome to Tea Time with Talia. I love cooking, and it's actually quite funny because when I was at school I did a Leith's cookery course and I actually wasn't that good. I was pretty pants actually. Over the years I have started cooking a lot more, and I basically, all the kind of like basics I learned from my Leith's cookery course I put into like my everyday cooking. And I guess over like, God, when did I finish school? Like 6 years ago? Probably more. That's really scary to think of. But ever since then, I've literally used those basics and kind of taught myself to cook from them. And not gonna lie, I'm not too shabby. I'm not amazing, but I'm also not crap. So, you know, I'm in the middle. And also my family are really big cooks. My sisters and my mum are all amazing chefs, especially my mum. And you know, we've always had like cookery channels on the TV and stuff. So I picked up a lot from there. So anyway, enough about my life of cooking. I'm sure that was like so uninteresting. We're gonna make beef bourguignon today. Oh yeah. Dan did really well at his army assessment center yesterday, and I basically said to him, I will cook this evening. I cook every evening, but I will cook you something special this evening and choose your favorite dish. And he loves beef bourguignon, so we're going to do that today. And the recipe I use is kind of like a mixture of Raymond Blanc's recipe, which you can literally just find on Google. If you type in Raymond Blanc beef bourguignon, it comes up, and also like a BBC Good Food recipe. It's the one with celeriac mash. I don't do celeriac mash but I do use that recipe. I just kind of mix them together and it ends up being a good one. So that's what we're going to do today. And I thought I would just film it because it's fun, and yeah. Okay, so I am currently melting some goose fat. I prefer using goose fat over like olive oil. It just gives it a little bit extra flavor, and it's good to use a big casserole dish like this. This is from Le Creuset. Okay, so we've got the beef in here browning. This is actually oxtail, but sometimes we like to just switch out the meat instead of having like beef shin. So sometimes we use oxtail, sometimes we use ox cheek. But you basically just want to brown it. You don't want to cook it through all the way, just brown it on all sides, because you'll be putting it in the oven later, which is where it does its proper cooking. Alright, so everything is now in this colander that I have put in a bowl. So basically all of the juices from the beef filters through into the bowl, and you can use that later when you're cooking up all the extra bits that you're going to throw into your bourguignon. Okay, so my beef has been basically filtering all of its juices into this bowl. I've just popped it in the sink for now, in the colander. And I'm going to add some onion to this bowl. I've just chopped up a whole onion. And I'm going to add all of that in here. There we go. And I've also got a bouquet garni. This one, a bouquet garni, is basically herbs tied together. It's nothing that fancy. So you've got some thyme in there, bay leaves, and some parsley. So that's going to go in. And then I'm going to add just some cheap red wine. Where's the other one? I can't remember where the other wine is. And the good thing about beef bourguignon as well is, like, obviously it looks like I'm making absolutely loads, and to be honest I am. But you can freeze it, and then you can just have it whenever you really fancy it, which is just excellent. God, dropping it. Which is excellent. So I'm sure we won't eat all of this tonight, although to be honest I wouldn't put it past Daniel because he eats so much food, which is so unfair because I can never eat that much. And then you just want to pour the wine over. So we've got this one. You do not need to get expensive wine. Honestly, this was like £5, so all good. And you pour your wine over. Make sure that it is all covered. And I have got another bottle somewhere, just a small one, in my Sainsbury's bag, which is upstairs, so we better go get that. And then I've just got another bottle here. This is just a really small one. You just want to cover it. Oh my god, it's so slimy. Oh yeah. I basically put in just a shit ton of wine. And there you go. Okay. And then I just normally cover it with some tin foil And I leave it, normally I leave it, to be honest, I leave it for like 4 hours so it can like really soak in. But I don't have that time today, so I'm probably gonna leave it for, God, what is the time? Oh no, I could probably leave that for like 2 hours. I'm gonna leave it for about 2 hours. And then it will just like mix in and make the beef really tasty. And I'm gonna set it on top of my tumble dryer because there's no work surface space. So I think it's been about an hour, and I am gonna start like doing the little bits, the little extra bits that you put into the beef. So I've got some mushrooms. You can put carrots in as well, but I just don't. And in my casserole dish, I have got in, so this really lovely appetizing, this looks delicious, doesn't it? Not, but this is bacon in here, like bacon lardons, and I actually put them in with tomato puree, and I'm gonna fry these off now, and then I'm gonna fry off the mushrooms as well in here too. And just to clarify, I haven't washed this pan since I cooked the beef in there, trying to keep as much of the juices in as I possibly can. Okay, so my beef has been marinating now for about 2 hours. Oh, really appetizing. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna basically transfer all this into this, and then I'm gonna cook it off for about an hour. Okay, here we have it. So I just added a little bit more water, probably like 100 ml, just to cover the beef a little bit more. But this is it. So I've got my onions in there. This is my bouquet garni. I got the beef, and I'm just gonna pop my lid on, and I'm gonna leave that for about an hour on a low heat. This is how we feel, because we are in a food coma. Oh my gosh, I ate so much food. Whew. But that was the last meal that I'm ever gonna cook in that kitchen, thank goodness, because obviously the time has come to rip it out. So I'm looking forward to it, looking forward to actually having some workspace and not having to use my tumble dryer as an area of work. Yeah, exciting times, exciting times.